How's it going, you guys? AZPlayer21 back with more WMMA as part of our UFC save. As we have, an episode that's going to be pretty long. We're going to be booking it through the entirety of September. So, on our last episode, we actually went through UFC 250 Usman versus Masvidal. As you can see, Usman and Cejudo both defending their titles, did not make a lot of money off pay-per-view. I think the reason for that is just because I've been putting it on TV elsewhere. So no matter what happens the next time around, I'm not going to be putting it on any TV station whatsoever, just so I can make as much money as possible as far as pay-per-view goes. Because I think that's probably what's hindering me making money on TV on pay-per-view sales. So that's going to be a rule that we have to set for ourselves. Not put it on TV anywhere else. The only thing that sucked is the Habib fight. It was necessary because it was Russia. There's no way we're not going to let Russia not watch that fight. Okay, so we are here Monday, week 1 of July. As you can see, we have all the way up through August booked up. But now it's time to see what September has in store for us. Our next pay-per-view is going to be Miocic versus Cormier 3. That's going to be in New York. And then we have two international cards, UFC 252 and 253, in London and Brazil, respectively. We have a little bit of international flavor going on. Now, Adesanya Costa, that's in Brazil. So let's take a look and see where we want to put our next pay-per-view. Because I think it's just Jones that needs to defend his title. And for a Jones fight, I'm thinking that more than likely, I'm probably going to want to have that either in Vegas, probably in Vegas, to be honest. It's a Jones fight. Not sure really anywhere else that I would want to put it, but who else would be defending their title on the card? No. So Weili Zhang would probably be defending her title against Rose. Where's Rose from? Rose is from Wisconsin. Don't think I would want to go to Wisconsin, but that's those are going to be the title fights for this next pay-per-view. It's going to be Rose taking on Weili Zhang, and then Jon Jones taking on Jan Blachowicz. But as far as where I want the actual fight card to go down, it's somewhere in the United States, obviously. And I'm thinking I'm just going to have it be Nevada. Just to play it safe, you know. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So week 4 of September. Saturday, week 4 of September. UFC 254 in Nevada. Drug testing, of course. Advanced National Marketing. All good there. All right. So that is our pay-per-view booked. And so let's go ahead and just add our fights right now. Just so that way there's no confusion about what we're doing here. Jon Jones versus Jan Blachowicz for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Done and dusted. That is going to be our main event. And it says it'll be a great main event, so that's good. And then our second fight for the Women's Strawweight Championship. It says main show fight, but it's going to be our co-main event. All right. So those are our two title fights that we will have for UFC 254. Jon Jones taking on Jan Blachowicz, and then Weili Zhang taking on Rose Namajunas. All right. So let's go ahead and see where we want to put our other fight cards. I'm thinking about putting them somewhere international. Now, we just got back from Europe, and then Poland, London, Mexico, Brazil. So I'm thinking one like European and one like Asian fight card, maybe, and then one back in the United States. So let's go ahead and do that. Add show. Saturday, week 1 of September. Throwaway show. We'll have that third one be the USA card. That one will be on ESPN. So we're coming off of Brazil. So Let's, what would be close to Brazil? Europe or Asia? Asia would be. So let's see what we can do in Asia. Japan? No, not Japan. Let's take a look and see who we have available, honestly. Because that'll dictate a lot about who we want to fight. Junior Dos Santos is available, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to really fight anybody at this point. JON. I'm looking for ranked fighters that are available to fight. Yanan Wu, Jian Kim. Pantoja, Bibulatov. Maybe a Russian card? That could be pretty interesting, having a Russian card. But who would be the guy that I would have main event that? That's what I'm concerned about. Olenek, how long are you out for? 5 days. What about Volkov? That could be our main event. And 47 days. Low-level national. So I'm thinking Russia. But I'm trying to see if anything that I can do would make sense to have it in Russia. And all signs are pointing towards no at this point. How long is Volkanovski out for? Because he still has to defend 48 days, so that's probably going to be the next pay-per-view that he defends against Holloway. Faber, he's probably going to be on that pay-per-view. Yeah, it's just a lot of featherweights and like flyweights that are from Russia. No one really popular necessarily. Okay, what about like Australia? What about something like that? Let's just go all the way down and see what we can come up with here. We're not going to go to Africa anytime soon. China? No, not China, because if I were to go to China, it'd probably be for a Zhang fight. And she's already defending her title on the pay-per-view. But that lucrativeness is pretty appealing. I'm just looking to see where the most lucrative places are. London, again, for sure. Ooh, Canada. I haven't gone to Canada yet. Japan. Go to Toronto. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to Toronto. Okay, Toronto, Ontario. Okay, and then from there, we can see. Southeast Asia. Edgar versus Korean Zombie in Eastern Asia. Where was that at? Was that in South Korea? It might have been, actually. Hmm. I'm surprised that Australia is not that lucrative. Let's go ahead and go to Eastern Asia. It's like the South Korea area. You know, maybe the next international run through we go through, we'll go to Japan. And then we are drug testing. Okay. And then the next one's going to be the ESPN one. Where's the last United States that we went to? New York, Pennsylvania. Let's go to Boston, like Massachusetts. Yeah, let's go to Boston. It'll be a lesser show in Massachusetts. And it is drug tested. Alrighty. So those are our 4 fight cards for the month in Nevada. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what kind of hometown fighters we've got going on. Of course, we are in Ontario, Eastern Asia, and Massachusetts. But let's book our pay-per-view first. Do it by popularity. See where our most popular fighters are right now that are available to be booked. And I see Uriah Faber and Junior Dos Santos. And I also see Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is coming off that loss to Khabib. Uriah Faber beat Frankie Edgar at UFC 249. So I'd be very interested in possibly having him fight on this card. Dos Santos also coming off a win in the heavyweight division over Overeem, right? Yeah. Who's Francis Ngannou fighting? Derek Lewis? Yep. Ngannou beat Dos Santos pretty recently. If Ngannou beats Lewis, he deserves to have a title shot. But I mean, Dos Santos versus Blades. Blades just beat him recently, right? Yeah. So not sure why he's number 2. Maybe Dos Santos versus Oleinik? Barry Rosenstrike. He's out for a while. Because I would want to use Dos Santos on this card, but I'm not sure who I would have him face. I'm leaning towards Olynyk right now. Seems to be the only one that would make sense. Tuivasa is coming off a loss to Struve. So I'm thinking either Olynyk. Volkov's coming off a win. Yep. But he's not back for a while. And I would probably have him fight in Russia. Low-level national in Russia. What's Olynyk? I think he's also low-level national. So I'm leaning towards either Olynyk or Struve. Because Curtis Blades, he just lost to. Maybe Blades versus Volkov. Has that already happened? No, it hasn't. So either Olynyk or Struve makes the most sense. And I think it's going to end up being Stefan Struve. And then we can do Olynyk Volkov in Russia. But when is Struve back? A month. Are there any popular women fighters? Holly Holm. Who can we have Holly Holm fight? Take a look at that. At bantamweight. Who did she lose? She lost last time. To Juliana Pena. Who's number 15. Holm versus Vieira? No matter what happens, Holm's not getting a title fight should she win, even if it is against someone like Vieira or Renault, because she just lost to Juliana Pena, who wasn't even ranked, I don't think. She's ranked number 17. So I'm thinking either Vieira or Renault. Mid-level regional. Low-level national. So I'm thinking Vieira versus Holm. It'll definitely help out Vieira should she win. Nope, not that bantamweight. Said it would be a strong main event. Will she fight her? She will. Okay. All right, cool. Other than that, there's not another female fight that I want to make as far as this main card. Uriah and Junior Gokhan Saki. Tony Ferguson. I don't think he would feature on his pay-per-view. Michael Chiesa. Other than that, there's not much else going on. Ryan Ortega. But I think he's already fighting for a championship in the near future. That's unless he doesn't want to wait. You can have him fight against Holloway instead. Ooh. That could be interesting. Winner fights Volkanovski, because originally it was just going to be the rematch, but Volkanovski got hurt. We could do this for an interim title, maybe? Ortega versus Holloway 2? How long is Volkanovski out for, though? 48 days, so like almost 2 months. So by the time this fight happens, Volkanovski will already be better. So, no. Let's not do that. Yeah, so Holloway is getting that rematch, so... No, not Brian Ortega. No one else, really. Okay, so Faber and Dos Santos. Let's find something for Faber to do. Not Ricky Simone. Let's see. Because the thing is, we're kind of just waiting on people to get, healed up from, their previous fights, so that way we can book them up. What are the pound-for-pound rankings? I'll go through that in a little bit. I'm trying to figure out who I want Faber to fight next. Because he's coming off a win over Frankie Edgar. Who's number 14 now. So, someone within, like, this range right here. Who's coming off a loss. Probably. Rafael Assunção? How long is he out? 2 months, yikes. Jose Aldo's coming off a win over Jeremy Stevens. He's out for 40 days. That could be interesting. Corey Sandhagen, maybe? He's out for 33 days. That could be one we do. Rob Fonts coming off a win. He's out for 6 months. Wow. After a win. Pedro Munoz coming off a loss to Piotr Jan. He's done for 2 months. Ricky Simone coming off a win. I doubt Uriah will want to face him again, though. So I'm thinking, like, when's TJ back? Like, 8 months? 5 months? Yeah, so anybody right here, really, is fair game. John Dodson, 5 days. Dodson versus Faber, maybe? Let's see, because not a Sunsao. No. Not Aldo. Sandhagen, what, like 16 days, right? 33 days. I'm thinking either Dodson or Sandhagen. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And then when the time comes, we'll set up that fight. But Faber is fighting on that card, just like Junior Dos Santos is fighting on this card. Who against, though, is to be seen, although I am leaning towards Oleinik, who would be available to book in around 5 days. Stefan Struve, who's coming off a win over Tuivasa, also 26 days. This would be a better selling fight against Struve, but Oleinik would make the most sense as far as rankings. But I want to be able to sell pay-per-views, so I'm leaning towards Struve a little bit more. But all that we do know is that Dos Santos will be fighting on the card, so let's just get him on there. And I think it'll go like that. Okay, cool. So that's UFC 254, premeditatedly booked. So now we can go ahead and take a look at. Oh, jeez. So now we can go ahead and take a look at the rest of the month. Let's see if we can find a main event for Ontario. So in Canada, we have Carlos Condit, Max Holloway, Michael Chiesa. Hmm. Both these guys are on losing streaks. Hmm. Carlos Condit lost Diego Sanchez. Michael Chiesa. He in the welterweight division. What's Tyron Woodley up to? Are you going to be back soon? No, that's right. You're out for a whole year. Gilbert Burns defeated Jeff Neal. Covington versus St. Pierre is happening. Ponzinibbio or Diaz? $2 months for Diaz, a month for Ponzinibbio. Gilbert Burns could be interesting. So this says it would be a great main event. Chiesa and Burns. I was thinking about having Chiesa fight for the title, but if GSP beats Colby, that's probably what we're going to do. And if Colby beats GSP, then we might end up just doing the rematch. And in order to get a good main event for this card, I'm just going to go ahead and do this right here. So Chiesa versus Burns. Says it should be a great main event, so let's go ahead and do that. Go to Eastern Asia now. Do Ho Choi. It's looking like Do Ho Choi might main event here unless any of the female are any more popular. Alexis Davis, no. No way. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely Do Ho Choi, but now let's see who we want him to face off against. Superb main event. Anything that says superb main event, I'm down with. Hmm. Ooh, like Zuba? Hakeem Dawodu? I like Dawodu. Let's go ahead and let's go and do this one right here. Let's do Guan Wang. Let's go ahead and do Hakeem Dawodu, actually. So that's the main events as of right now for Eastern Asia. And then Massachusetts, this one should be a little bit more straightforward because it Won't have to do with like regional popularity. It'll just be by regular popularity. So Gokhan Saki, coming off a victory. Tony Ferguson. Didn't Saki... What's that cross on Saki's name? No contact suspension. Tony Ferguson. Carlos Condit. Max Holloway. So I'd probably have Ferguson main event this fight card. He's in the lightweight division. He could literally fight anybody and it'd be okay. About Charles Oliveira. 26 days. Yaquinta. 40 days. Cowboy. Here he fought him 19 days. Dan Hooker. 2 months. Alexander Hernandez. 2 months. Islam. 19 days. Poirier. 19 days. I think we might do Tony versus Dustin. Tony versus Dustin looks like it's going to be the fight for that card. All right, let's go and do that. Tony Ferguson versus to be announced, and that to be announced is actually going to be Dustin Poirier. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Is there any ranked fighters that are available to fight right now? Tabora and Tuivasa. Lost to Alexei Oleinik. Lost to Stefan Struve. I think these two can fight, Tabora and Tuivasa. This is potential main event for Ontario. Australia, Canada. What about the great main event? Let's go and do this one. All right, going through to see if there's any ranked fighters that I can book. Khalil Roundtree. Is he coming off a win or a loss? Coming off a win over Justin Ledet, who I believe was not ranked. He was not. And Eric Anders is also available. He's coming off a win over Big Nog. I think this is a fight we can make. Eric Anders and Khalil Roundtree. They fought though, haven't they? They have. So yeah, let's not do that one then. Khalil Roundtree against someone in the top 20. Or maybe someone who's ranked at the very least. So not Prohashka. Jim Crute maybe? Lost to Ryan Spann. He's done for 5 months. Silent Sam Alvey. 5 days. Sam Alvey maybe. Nikita Krylov. Coming off a loss. He's back in 47 days. Tyson Pedro just beat Prohashka. He's not back for another 2 months. Jeez. Ryan Spann coming off a win. He's back in 5 days. So either Alvey or Spann for Khalil Roundtree. Alvey, where's he from? He's from Wisconsin. Span is from Texas. Is he low-level national, Sam Alvey? He is. Okay, so it's going to be Sam Alvey. Ooh. Do Anders versus Saki, maybe? And Saki's from the Netherlands. Maybe I'd put that one on one of the international cards. Maybe in the one in South Korea. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. Ugh. Saki's heavily an underdog. Again, though. We'll go ahead and do this one, though. Oh, we're going to move that one to the South Korea card. There, that one. Mid-level national. High-level regional. Mid-level national. Alright, so that's in the co-main event as of right now. Kiesa Burns, Khalil Roundtree versus what's probably going to be Sam Alvey. Okay, so Ontario, Roundtree versus Sam Alvey. These are all just little notes that I can keep to remind myself. You know, let's go and take a look and see what hometown fighters we have in any of these, just so that we can get those out of the way and not accidentally book them. Remember, this is for Toronto only, so we have Chad Laprice, who's coming off a win on Moraes versus Sandhagen, beat Alexander Yakovlev. Him versus Carlos Condit would be good, but he'd be a big underdog. In Canada, no less. I'm still seriously considering doing this Carlos Condit fight. Because the closest one would be Joe Bond as far as like who would be evenly matched against. That says it would be a strong main event. Michel Pereira, but he's on a losing streak, so I wouldn't really want to have him on a main card anyways. Miguel Baiza. The Leech. High level national, this one. Anything else that's high level national? Mickey Gall. Barbarena. Let's go and do this one. Jack Marshman lost to Edmund Shabazian in his last fight. Let's go and do this one. Any more guys out of Toronto? Kyle Nelson, low-level regional. Be a prelim fighter, no doubt. Nate Landwehr. Elon Cruz. This fight will go on the prelims. All right, any more Torontoans? Ooh, a couple actually. Alexis Davis and Jillian Robertson. Alexis Davis is actually low-level national here. On a losing streak is Alexis Davis. So probably have her face off against someone in the top 20. Like Jillian Robertson, would that be a good fight for her? I think it would. And they're both from Toronto. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, 2 more fights now. Random Marcos. All right, that's all. Random Marcos. She's number 12. Lost to Amanda Ribas. Where's she at? Amanda Ribas. Okay, so she should be fighting someone like around down here-ish. So like 17 to 25. Someone who's coming off of a win or a, let's see. Like Felice Herrig. Marina Rodriguez, they've already fought before. Jandaroba. Let's go ahead and do that Jandaroba fight. It says it can be on the main show. Okay, so that's all the hometown fighters for Canada. Eastern Asia now. Any hometown fighters? Yeah, JON Kim. Low-level regional, though. Coming off of victory. So let's find someone. Let's find someone for her. Yeah, that's ranked at least. Yanan Wu, maybe? Or Mackenzie Dern? If we're going off popularity, Mackenzie Dern is the best bet. Anyone that gives me low-level national? No, it's going to be the Mackenzie Dern fight. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, let's see. Any more hometown fighters? Kyung Ho Kang. All right. Anybody low-level national? Yeah, couple. Almeida. Michael McDonald. Yuri Alcantara. Alcantara's coming off a loss. Michael McDonald. I like that one. Or Almeida, who's off a losing streak though. So let's do the Michael McDonald fight. First fight back for him in a long time. And it's low-level national. Mid-level national. Mid-level national. Okay. Let's see, any more else? Okay, got one more light heavyweight. Da Un Jung, who's on a 2-fight winning streak, actually. So let's see, anything else in mid-level regional? It looks like mid-level regional is going to be the best we get. And there's only 2 of them. So Gordon Berkman, who we're actually going to send down. So it looks like we're going to do this one. Marcin Prachnio. Let me go ahead and do that now then. Actually, have to cut him, actually. Can't even send him down, otherwise it will just end the game. Oh, geez, we're paying him, though. $17,000 to do this. Might as well use him since we signed him. So let's just keep Gordon Jackrabbit Berkman around since we signed him. Alright, so that's 6 fights and 5 fights. Those are all the hometown fighters taken care of. What about Massachusetts? Any hometown fighters? Mike Rodriguez from Boston. Let's go and do this one, but it's going to be on the prelims. Any more Massachusetts fighters? Merab Dvalishvili on a winning streak. Okay, let's just find an even fight for him then. Kyler Phillips. That's my boy. Let's go ahead and give it to Kyler Phillips. It'll be on the prelims. But let's go ahead and do it. Alright, any more? Hey, what's up? What's up, Jake? You can see me streaming on my crappy laptop now. Nobody else is from Massachusetts. Okay, so we have 5 fights booked on this card, 6 booked on this card, but that's not going to be the main card for sure. Probably the JON Kim fight can probably stay on there, yeah. Tai Tuivasa, high-level regional. So just this one, really, that's going to go to the prelim. So really only 1 fight to make. But, I mean, obviously if we can get anything that's better, we can just, move other fights down to the prelims. But as far as Massachusetts fighters goes, like, that's it. So Ontario, we need one fight left. Okay, as far as popularity, it's looking like Carlos Condit. Kelvin Gastelum, too. Ooh. This guy's low-level national. Welterweight. Let's see if we can find him something. Alright, we're done looking for the hometown fighters. What about Condit versus Westcott? No. Westcott versus Gall. Ooh. That looks like a good one. Let's go ahead and do this. Westcott versus Mickey Gall. Mid-level national. Davis versus Robertson. Low-level national. Laprise versus Marshman. High-level national. And then Kiesa Burns, I think, is low-level international. Yes. Okay. So we have our main card for right now. It's not the strongest by any means. Cleo Rountree versus Sam Alvey should make it a little bit better. But that's 6 fights, so let's go ahead and move forward to the Eastern Asian card, where I think is where we might use Carlos Condit or Kelvin Gastelum. Jianglong Li. Damn, not even Kelvin's popular here, huh? No, apparently not. So yeah, I'm thinking Condit. Let's see, what can we find for him? Ooh, maybe he can fight Lee? Anything low-level national, at least. So Mina. Barberena. That would be interesting. But he's coming off a loss. Don't really want to do that if he's coming off a loss. Okay. So it says this would be a superb main event between Mina and Condit. He lost his first fight of his career against Maev. There's nobody that's high level or mid-level national. Nothing else says superb main event other than that one, though. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay. So those are the 6 fights as it stands right now. For that one. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have to do here. in Massachusetts. All right, so Kelvin, Duffy. All right, so here's we have a little bit more to work with because we're back in the U.S. now. So Kelvin for sure. Find something for him to do. Just lost to Shabazian. Where is he at? He's number 9. Shabazian's number 17. So someone like Akhmedov, maybe? Just beat Heinisch? Or maybe someone just down here. Because I know I have it set that Akhmedov needs to find someone in the top 20. But who will Akhmedov fight then? For Kelvin, he has to fight someone like right here-ish. Edmund, I'm probably going to have to have him fight either Weidman or Brunson. So Kelvin. Jack Jerhamson. When are you back? 33 days. 5 days. Ooh, Tavares versus Gastelum. Krzysztof Jotko beat Ian Heinisch. He's on hiatus, though. David Branch lost to Jack Hermanson. How long is he out for? He's on drug suspension. I forgot that's why. I forgot that's why he's not fighting right now. Antonio Carlos Jr. beat Theodorus back in 26 days. Uriah Hall lost to Weidman back in 47 days, and then Shabazian. So I'm thinking Gastelum versus Tavares. That should be a good fight for the ESPN card. And then we can find something for Akhmedov to do later. Yeah, Gastelum would be a heavy favorite in that fight. But we're going to do Tavares versus Gastelum on this card. Who did I say Tony Ferguson was going to fight? Dustin, right? Gastelum versus Tavares. Okay. Let's see, anyone else? Who else is popular? Any female fighters that are popular? Jessica Andrade? I'm thinking we find something for Jessica Andrade to do, maybe? Just lost to Rose. Zhao Nanyan. Who did Michelle Watterson lose to? Carla Esparza. Yeah, let's try JON. It says it would just scrape onto the main show. What about any of these other ones? Prelims. Scraping onto the main show to Bercio. Prelims. Scraping onto the... Yeah, so... Yeah, it's going to be JON. Cool. 3 more fights to add. We can always just put it on the prelims if we absolutely have to. You need a close-up of Felice. Felice Herrig? I don't think you do. Here's my conundrum. Do we have Brian Ortega do something, considering Holloway is going to fight for the title? So now, should we have Brian Ortega fight someone else in the meantime? Risk his contendership? Someone like Zabit? How long is Zabit out for? 12 days? That's tempting. Mirsad Bektic? No, not Bektic. He still needs to fight some other people because he's just coming off a 2-fight losing streak, so he should not be that high up in the rankings. Korean Zombie. He just beat him already. Jeremy Stevens, who just lost. Ortega could fight Aldo, maybe. How long is he out for? 3 months. Cup Swanson. 5 days. But if I was going to do Ortega versus Zabit, it would probably be on a pay-per-view. It's either that or Ortega's waiting for like 4 or 5 months for his title fight. And I'm sure he'd rather just have something to do. Because Holloway is fighting for that title. Duffy. Greg Hardy just lost. Who else is low-level national at the least? Chris Holdsworth. So Chris Holdsworth. Todd Duffy. Duffy versus Hardy. Says it would be a main show fight. Anything that's high-level national, mid-level national? Mid-level national, Jarvis Danho. Juan Espino, who was the Ultimate Fighter winner. And then Greg Hardy, who he would demolish, apparently. Let's go ahead and do this one. Duffy versus Espino. Shabazian. Lost to Kelvin Gastelum. Do we find something for him to do? Him versus Akhmedov, maybe? Leon Edwards is available. I might put him on the prelims or the pay-per-view, though. Shabazian Akhmedov. Ricky Simone needs something to do, probably on the prelims. All these flyweights. Women's featherweight tournaments. Mariana Renault. But there's not much to really do here. Let's see if we can do Shabazian versus Akhmedov. It says it would be a prelim. That's rough. So I'll probably do that on the UFC, on the pay-per-view prelims then. You wanted to see Felice Herrig. There you go. Last fight was a loss to Claudia Gadella. Prelims, just screaming on. We're all good there. Flyweights, Rachel Ostovich. Nice to look at, but not the greatest fighter. Chukagian. No. Looking for fights that could be, on the main card. Low-level national, Ian McCall, scraping onto the main show. Bibulatov. No, Ian McCall, no. Alcantara. Let's do Chris Holdsworth. So that's its potential main event with Almeida, like that. Main show fight. Let's go and do this one. Chris Holdsworth versus Thomas Almeida. Scraping onto the main show. And this one was main show, but not main event. Alright, so one more fight to book for this fight card, and then we can do all the prelims, which is a lot easier because we don't really have to worry about popularity or things like that. But here we do, so. Ian McCall, Alex Caceres, Bobby Green. Scraping onto the main show. Nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put Greg Hardy on the main card. None of those would be good. Shabazian. No. What about Bevon Lewis? What about any of his fights be on the main card? No, it's not going to be anybody here in the middleweight division. Alan Jobon. Just barely make it onto the main show. Barberena. Barberena versus Means. Leon Edwards is not popular at all here. Barberena Strickland. Let's go ahead and do this one. Alright. So that's 6, 6, and 6. It's not the strongest main event, that Eastern Asia card. Do Ho Choi versus Hakeem Dawodu. Carlos Condit also on the card, but the return of Michael McDonald, but just not a strong card overall. But it's what we have to work with, so because everyone's kind of injured, and we're kind of getting to that point where the roster is going to be spread a little thin just because we don't have everyone back in time. So now we can do the prelims. So let's go ahead and start here with the UFC 254. I think Sean O'Malley is available, right? Did I already book him somewhere? Yes, he's fighting Mitch Gagnon at the Figueiredo Benavidez fight card. Remember, we still have a long ways to go. So already a lot of fights booked, things like that. And every day more people are becoming available to fight. It's just on this particular day, this is where I book the fights, so. So everyone that's ranked, let's find them something to do. So we're going to go by ranking. No one at heavyweight. No one at light heavyweight. Edmund Shabazian versus Akhmedov. Where's Ian Heinisch? Isn't Ian Heinisch highly higher up ranked? He's 19. Fighting Shabazian would be a good move for Akhmedov, probably. He'd be an underdog, but that's kind of good because you kind of want to protect Shabazian anyways. So let's just go ahead and do this. Shabazian versus Akhmedov. Any other ranked fighters? Leon Edwards. Need to find something for him to do. And how old is that? Because Leon Edwards isn't young. He is young. He's 26, so we kind of want to protect him a little bit too. So let's have him face off against someone, down here-ish. Unless we just want to have a barn burner on our hands and have a great fight. Because Leon Edwards just fought Chiesa and lost. So someone from, Gunnar Nelson. What are you doing up there? RBA? Okay, fair enough. I mean, literally anyone. From 6 down, he can fight. Ponzinibbio beat Wonderboy 26 days. Nate Diaz. Would Nate Diaz fight him? I don't know. He's still got 2 months. Gunnar Nelson. 12 days. The Masvidal fight could still happen. But Masvidal's out for 2 months. That might be something we do down the line is Edwards versus Masvidal, but that would be a while. That'd probably be at least another fight away. But that's probably going to be Jorge's next fight is with Leon. So Gunnar Nelson, how far away are you? 12 days, so that looks promising. Gunnar Nelson, Leon Edwards. Have they already fought, though? They have. They did on the Till versus Masvidal fight card, too. That was very recent. And Gunnar Nelson just beat RDA, too. So Gunnar Nelson's probably fighting someone up here. Or Jorge. Vicente Luque. He's gone for 50 days. Damian Maia. He's gone for 3 months. Wonderboy. He's gone for 3 months. Jeff Neal. 19 days. So I'm thinking either Gunnar Nelson or Jeff Neal. Tyron Woodley's not coming back. So yeah, either Nelson or Neal, but it is going to be Leon Edwards on the fight card, so. Okay. Looking for my ranked fighters. Where y'all at? Oh, yeah. Volkanovski, Ortega, Holloway. Literally none of these guys can fight for a long time, which sucks. Volkanovski really screwed the pooch there by getting injured. Okay. So nothing there. Ricky Simone beating Yadong Song. Let's see. Beat Yadong Song, who was what in his last fight? He was number 20. So, and like anyone like in this range, so like Font, Munoz, Edgar, Garbrandt. Garbrandt, when are you back? 4 months, jeez. Frankie Edgar, when are you back? 26 days. Pedro Munoz, 2 months. Rob Fonts, I think he just won, right? 6 months, Jesus. Sanhagen, 33 days. So my thought is Sanhagen or Edgar. It's probably going to be Edgar. Yeah, Sanhagen or Edgar. More than likely Edgar. But Ricky Simone will be fighting on this card. Alright, so Leon Edwards. Who did we decide on that he was fighting? Just so I can put it down. Jeff Neal or Gunnar Nelson. And then Ricky Simone. Sanhagen or Edgar. Okay. Any other ranked fighters? All the flyweights, essentially. Okay, so let's here's where we can do a little bit of damage. Although we could do these on the other cards as well, just because they're not going to be that popular. But let's put one fight on here at least. So like Ian McCall, he was he was a hot commodity. Let's do him in a fight. Let's do him versus Bibulatov. Yeah, let's do him versus Bibulatov. He looks like he's gonna lose, which sucks, but. Or you know what? Let's do him against Espinoza. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He could use a win, and apparently he's favored. So let's just go ahead and do this. All right. Now, okay, so here, let's go ahead and do Felicia Spencer on this card. What's her tournament fight? Spencer versus Ibragimova. Okay. Heavily favored, but I mean, that's just the bracket, so. Okay. Marion Renault. What did she do her last time out? Beat Betch Kohea, who's number 14. Who's that? Number 15. So maybe her versus Juliana Pena? But she's on hiatus. That sucks. She beat Holly Holm and then said, I'm out. Maybe her versus Chase on 12 days. I like that. Sarah McMahon. She said she wanted to fight Sarah McMahon. 26 days. We might do Chase on versus McMahon then. Kunitskaya. 26 days. GDR, no. Rocky. 2 months. Betchko. No, she just fought her. What am I talking about? Jojua. 5 days. Let's do her and Chase on. Oh, is it the other way around? Chie-san? I think so. Okay. About 4 more fights to book up here. Anyone in like the top 10. So Chukagian. It looks like Chukagian versus Murphy is the fight to make. Either her versus, or maybe versus I. No, she just lost to Lauren Murphy. So yeah, Chukagian versus Murphy. Murphy's only out for 5 days. She just beat Modafferi, right? Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Jennifer Mai, who's she fighting? Montana De La Rosa. Who's Andrea Lee fighting? Vanessa Porto. Okay. So, this looks like it's going to be a title eliminator. Chukagian and Lauren Murphy. Which is funny because Chukagian just got murked by Shevchenko. But she'll be on a 2-fight winning streak against fighters in the top 10. I mean, she'd be the next man up. So, it sucks, but that's what it's got to be. Okay, so Chukagian versus Murphy looks like the fight that we're going to make. Is she ready to go now? No, she's not. Okay, just make sure I let that be known. Okay, let's see. 16th. Yeah, we can hold off on that. Okay, cool. So we're all good there. So now let's go ahead and just start looking at fighters that we really, really want to book. So let me order the. So that's fine. Let's say that. That's a title eliminator, so that's probably gonna go like right there. That's good. And Jason. Okay, like that. That's fine. All right. So 3 more fights to book for these prelims. Sort by popularity, first of all. See if there's any glaring names that need to be booked. Like Greg Hardy, we could probably find something for. Anyone who's coming off a win. Lando Venata. So Hardy, Venata. Hardy, Venata, and Hardy, Venata, and Matthews. Okay, so let's find something for Greg Hardy. And he is not favored in any of these. Because he's not really a mixed martial artist, apparently. So, who stands to gain the most out of fighting Greg Hardy? Not this guy. Someone who's really unknown. Someone like Felipe Lins. Or this guy, who's at least a little bit younger. Alexander Romanov. Let's go ahead and do this. So Alan Jobon, no. Tim Means, no. Jake Matthews versus Chaos Williams. Would that be an even fight? It would not. Tim Means versus Jake Matthews or James Krause? Let's go ahead and do the Tim Means fight. And then one more. Chaos Williams, because he's coming off. Let's see who's off a win streak right now. Who's on a winning streak? Lando Venata, lightweight. Ooh, Drew Dober. Ooh, no, Venata would be heavily favored in that. Let's see here. John McDessie. Scott Holtzman. Let's go and do this. All right. All right, so let's just make sure I have it even up here. Say that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, so a lot of to be determines that we basically know, but essentially 254 is booked up. Let's go ahead and do the other ones. Who's Roundtree fighting? Sam Alvey. Are there any to be determines here? There are not. Just make sure it's on the prelims. We already have one set up. Ugh. And if there are any Canadian fighters, I'll use them first. So let me be on the lookout for that. Oh, Canadian fighter right there. Tanner Boser versus Jairus Dano. Let's go and do this one. See, any more Canadian fighters? Let me look for that. Oh, Manitoba. There we go. Sure. let's go ahead and do this one. All right, 4 more fights. Any more Canadians here? Yep, Marc-Andre Barriault. All right, let's go ahead and do this one right here. Okay. Let's go to the women, see if there's any women that are Canadian. Where are all the Canadians at? No. All these Brazilians, look at that. Any Canadians in the flyweights? Oh, Cole Smith, there's one. Is there another one that I can pair him up against? Like Amon Zahabi? Even fight, let's go ahead and do that. See any more Canadians here? No. Featherweights. Oh, Gavin Tucker. Is there another Canadian? All right, so Gavin Tucker versus somebody. Steven Peterson. Let's go and do this. All right, one more fight here. McDessie. Do we have another Canadian here? We do. Charles Jourdain. No, let's use McDessie elsewhere. Let's do Jourdain against somebody. Yeah, against Fisiev. Okay, so there's 7 fights right there. Done and dusted. Eastern Asia. I'm not too worried about any hometown fighters here or anything like that. What I will do, though, is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit more than 6 months ago to make sure we are getting people that haven't fought yet, some fights. All right, so Bradley Scott. Let's see, Marcelo Guimarães, Carl Roberson. Looks like an even one right here. It says this will be a great main event, but we're going to throw it in the prelims. Okay. All right, Jinyu Frey. Actually, these three. So, Jinyu Frey versus Mizuki. Let's see if we can do that. All right, let's do this. Naoki Inoue. Hiramasa Ojikubo. Go ahead and do that. Tyson Nam. Versus Matt Schnell. Okay, 2 more fights to go. Gabriel Benitez, Leron Murphy, Derek Minor. Let's go ahead and do this one, Derek Minor. Okay, one more. Let's do Czech Kone versus this guy right here. 2 French guys. All right, and then that's that. All right, so on this one, we already have 2. I want to do those other 2 featherweight tournament fights. So that one's already done. Alexis Dufresne versus Leah Letton's already scheduled. So I think it's just Anderson versus Sorensen, actually. I think it's just Anderson versus Sorensen. Yes. Okay. That'll be the featured prelim, and then we have 4 more. Let's see. Said Nurmagomedov, Mario Batista, Benito Lopez. Ronnie Barcelos. Chihaya Yonamaya. Let's just find someone easy. Not easy, but an even fight for him. Yuri Alcantara. Yeah, that looks good. Let's go and do this. Yuri Alcantara. Austin Hubbard. No, he's coming off a loss. Okay, Jamal Hill. Let's see, Ray Sloan. Looks to be an even fight. Let's go and do this. 2 undefeateds. Let's get a heavyweight fight in there. Nascimento versus Rasilov. What's a more even fight? There we go. All right, and then we have one more. Alonzo Menafield on a winning streak. versus Abdul Karim Edilov. Okay, cool. So it looks like we are all done booking this month. Of course, a lot of these fighters need to be like still inserted into their fights. That's probably gonna be like a month down the line once they're like eligible to compete. But as of right now, everything is preemptively booked up and ready to go. UFC on ESPN Plus Fight Night Chiesa versus Burns in Ontario, Canada. Main event is Michael Chiesa and Gilbert Burns. Co-main event Chad Laprise and Jack Marshman. Take a look at everything else there. UFC on ESPN Plus Fight Night Duho Choi taking on Hakeem Dawodu in the main event. Gokhan Saki versus Eric Anders in the co-main. Carlos Condit and Michael McDonald also featuring on that card. UFC on ESPN Fight Night. Tony Ferguson taking on who will end up being Dustin Poirier. Kelvin Gastelum will be fighting Brad Tavares, Chris Holdworth, Thomas Almeida. That's a pretty good fight card, I'd say. And then you can see that. And then our pay-per-view for the month of September is UFC 254, Jones versus Blachowicz. Jon Jones defending his light heavyweight title against Jan Blachowicz. Weili Zhang defending her strawweight title against Rose Namajunas. Junior Dos Santos will be facing off against... Oh, did I not set that? Uh-oh, hold on. Before I forget, let's take a look at that. Junior Dos Santos. I think it's Oleinik. It was either Oleinik or Struve. So let's make sure we put that in there first. JDS. Okay, let me put that there. JDS versus Struve / Oleinik. And then it was Faber versus... Was it Edgar that I wanted him to fight? No, that's for Simon. I think it was Dodson. Because Dodson's coming back soon, right? Yeah, it's Dodson. Okay. Faber versus Dodson. Okay, cool. So now we're all good. So we'll be Junior Dos Santos versus either Stefan Struve or Alexei Oleinik, and then Uriah Faber taking on John Dodson. Go ahead and move that up there. And then Holly Holm taking on Caitlin Vieira. And then the rest you can go ahead and see right there. All right. It looks like that's going to do it for this stream and for this video. I thank you guys, as always, for watching. I'm AZPlow21. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to click on the bell so that way you guys get notifications for every time that I upload a video. And I will see you guys next time. The next time that I see you guys will be for UFC on ESPN Plus Fight Night Lawler versus Magny. In the main event, it's Robbie Lawler taking on Neil Magny. All right. I will see you guys later.